Alright guys, welcome back to another dokkan battle video. So for today's video, it's going to be another bit of a discussion video in relation to the worldwide celebration. Now I'm not going to be talking about the content in part 1, even though that's the page I'm on right now, because we've done that already, okay? If you wanted me to hear my thoughts on what I think of the content in part 1, I'll link the video up top, but spoiler alert, I don't really think the content has been very good. But what this is actually going to be looking at is it's going to be looking at the dragon stones for the actual worldwide celebration. Now I've seen a lot of people kind of chattering on social media, Twitter, I say social media, I mean Twitter, and I've also seen it on Reddit and stuff like that, where a lot of people are actually anticipating we're not going to get very many more dragon stones in this event, and so far this celebration hasn't been very generous to us. Now I'll be honest, when I was kind of thinking myself, I didn't actually think it was, but then I had a look at what we've actually received in Dragonstones and compared it to last year, and I got a little bit of a surprise. So what I'm going to do just now is look at what Dragonstones we've received so far in this celebration. So if you look, okay, now when we do the comparison, they do include the countdown in both comparisons, okay, so it's only fair to include them just now. So for the countdown, we got 131 Dragonstones, which came from social media campaign 15, legendary campaign 30, the return campaign with 20, 10 from the daily login, 12 from the compensation, the Infinite Dragon Ball History was 24, Hercule World Tournament was 1, and the Fearsome Magin, the one with the chocolate, was 19. Okay, so overall that was 131 Dragonstones. And for actual part 1, which we're in just now, and there is still a chance just now that they can add more, okay, but for now at least it's been 417 Dragonstones. So that's the login, limited missions, daily missions, boss rush, the Boo campaign, the one that was extended, the showdown story event, the stamina gluttons, which is 1 basically, launch. Now launch is obviously, it's jumping a wee bit ahead on launch, okay, because it's basically giving you the 20 per day for the rest of the celebration. So we've not had 60 of these yet, right? So I don't really know if that should be on here, but we've got it on here anyway. So we've got the 2 new Dokkan stages, the Ultimate Clash, Dokkan Now Special, first rank, which is actually props to the Dokkan Wiki, they've got that bang up to date, it's 70 now. Social media campaign, which is 10, and the Dokkan Squad, which is 5. So overall that gives us a grand total of 548. Now if you flip over and look at what we got last year, you'll see that in part 1 we got 553. Okay, now that doesn't include what we got here, right? So far we're about 152 less, well, I'd just say 155 less than what we got last year, okay? However, if you look down here, you'll see that they got this, the thank you for your passionate support. They tend to do this, okay? So I reckon that we're going to get at least another 30 on here before the discounts go away on the banner, okay? And we'll probably get another social media campaign, so this is probably going to come up a little bit, okay? I reckon this will probably at least hit 600, okay? So yes, it's going to be a little bit shorter than last year, but it's not going to be miles shorter, okay? And if you look at the anniversary, you'll see as well that the anniversary wasn't quite as many stones as the previous year, so they seem to be going on a trend of giving us slightly less stones, okay? Now I don't think we're going to get, like they got here, they got 2 lots of 50 for hitting number 1 rank. I don't think we're going to get that. I don't see that happening, but I mean it could still happen, but it's highly doubtful. But I do think we'll get this, okay? So with regards to part 1, the Dragonstones have been fairly on par, but the reason that I'm making this video is because I've seen people saying things like, oh, I don't think we're going to get enough to do any summons on the Boo banner, blah blah blah, the legendary summon banner, which we're assuming is going to be Boo. Now for that part, I actually think that's not going to be the case. I think we will still get a fair few stones, because if you look here, in part 2 of last year's celebration, they still gave out over 315 stones, okay? Now what that was made up of was part 2 missions, which we're obviously going to get, a Dragon Ball Hunt campaign, which I would expect we would get something, or at least something similar. They got a new story mission, a new story event, sorry, which again, with the kind of lack of with the lack of content we've had in part 1, I would expect them to put something like that out in part 2. Now this might sound a little bit hopeful because of how barren part 1's been, but I kind of think that's because part 2 is going to have a bit more content in it. We already know we're getting an Extreme Z area because we're getting that for Hercule and for Goku. We'll obviously get the Extreme C mission with that as well. Okay. Now, they did get a traditional EZA last year. I hope we get one. I think we will get one, and obviously there's a chance it's going to be Spirit Bomb Goku and Vegeta, which would be quite cool. I mean, but it could be a Boo character, it could be anything, you know, but I think they'll give us an Extreme Z. I really do. I'm kind of confident that they're going to give us an Extreme Z. We're getting at least one Infinite Dragon Ball history now. They got 2 last year, but we know for a fact we're getting 1. Okay, if we get 2, maybe we're lucky. Maybe we'll get another boss rush stage or something. Who knows? But we're definitely getting at least 1 Dragon Ball history, right? A world tournament. I don't know if we'll get a world tournament. I mean, we could get a world tournament, but either way, I still think they'll put something in here. Whether it's another bonus or whatever. I reckon at least global will hit top grossing. I don't know about Japan. Japan's got a lot going on just now. I mean, obviously they've still got the Fate waifu event going on. There's Monster Strike, which has got a crossover with My Hero Academia. Now that started, I think it was at the weekend it started, so that might start to sort of a taper off towards when this happens. So Japan still could hit top grossing. We need to wait and see there. I reckon they may hit it on iOS, but it's Android that seems to be the big issue for them as of late. At the Supreme Battle Challenge, again, these last 2 things, I think they'll actually have something in place where we will get a sort of a comparative reward. So I think it's not really too unbelievable to think we're going to get around about the same amount of stones again. I mean, maybe even because we were a bit light on part 1, they'll make up for it in part 2. Now if you look down here, they got another thank you for your passionate support, and they got top grossing. Okay, so I reckon we'll get at least these 2 things again. So again, when it comes to stones, guys, I don't really think that you should be too negative to thinking I'm not going to get any stones. If you don't want to summon on the Legendary Summon banner, which, let's be honest, unless you're someone who summons a lot and doesn't have a problem getting Dragon Stones, you probably shouldn't. I mean, you're probably going to get excited by animations, you're probably going to get excited by the fact that everybody's talking about this new unit, but let's be honest, without even seeing the banner, we already know that the banner's going to be terrible. Okay, the banner's going to be full of units that you can summon on every single banner that's out there, and it's going to have 20 featured units on it, and it's going to have 1 LR. I mean, if they put out a top legendary summon out with 2 LRs, I mean, yeah, it's a bit better, but generally, I think everyone knows by now, those banners, I don't want to call them bait, because I've had a lot of good luck on them, but that can be very fleeting, you know, it can be something that doesn't happen. And for global, there's a very good chance that the next unit we're going to receive is going to be Gohan, and Gohan is absolutely top tier. And there's not going to be a lot of time to build up stones between this celebration ending and Gohan coming along. So, me personally, and I'm not someone that ever really does this, but I would say that you should not summon on the on the legendary summon banner. They are something that's going to take your stones. I mean, if you fancy doing 1 or 2 to try your luck, then you go for it. But I'd say if we're going to get another 300 odd stones in the next part of this celebration, don't use them all on the legendary summon banner, because if Gohan comes along and you've not got stones for him, you're going to be gutted. Gohan's banner's actually quite decent. I mean, well, it's not bad anyway, do you know what I mean? And it's got Gohan on it. I don't think it would be exactly the same. I'm pretty sure that the Gohan banner in Japan, I'm trying to remember, but I think Bardock was on it. So I don't think they'll put Bardock on it for global. I think what they'll probably do is put on Future Gohan, although Future Gohan might have been on it. I can't remember. But anyway, I think they'll make changes to it. I don't think it'll be exactly the same. They might even do one of these sort of enticement offers that they've done with the last couple of banners for global, especially because we've had so much packed into such a short period of time. So I think you want to try and make sure you've got at least some stones for that banner, because if it turns out you get to do the first rotation for 100 stones or something like that, you're going to be pretty gutted if you've used all your stones on a top legendary summon banner, or just a legendary summon banner. So again, just bear that in mind, guys. Don't waste all your stones on this legendary summon banner that's coming up. I know it's really tempting. I know you just want the new shiny unit, and I know people like me are going to put out videos summoning on it and we sound like hypocrites, but I mean, when you're making content for a channel, you kind of do summon on every banner. It's just one of those things that you do. So anyway, guys, the main thing that I was making this video for was to say, don't lose hope. Don't think that, oh, that's it, we're done, this celebration's terrible, we're not going to get any more stones. We probably are going to get a half decent amount of stones anyway in part 2. Again, I wouldn't summon on the legendary summon banner. I wouldn't even necessarily summon on the Boo and Vegito banner if the discounts are away, to be honest, which they're going to be in about 7 days. So I mean, it might be a case of keep your coins and wait to buy them when they come back. I mean, the only downside to that is it might be a while before they come back. So if you're someone who even maybe occasionally buys stones, if you're going to hit the banner again, just make sure you do it before the discounts go away, because it really loses quite a lot of value once those discounts go away, you know. So again, guys, more or less just saying, we will get a lot more stones to come in part 2. Part 1 has been a bit dry, but there is a good chance they can make it up to us in part 2 with decent content, stuff to do in the game, and some decent amount of dragon stones for you to maybe get a few summons in if that's what you want to do. But again, I would really probably recommend at this point, save your stones and start targeting Gohan, because he is going to be the next big unit. And if you did pull somebody like Vegito, obviously Gohan slots into that Vegito team really nicely. So again, guys, this isn't my normal sort of a video. So I'm thinking about maybe doing more of these news advice videos. I don't really know what people think of them, you know. But anyway, if you're enjoying the content in the channel, guys, please subscribe. I'm getting closer to that 250 mark. It might not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but it's been quite a short period of time, so I'm really pleased at the growth of the channel and the support I've been getting from you guys. Please like the video, and as always, I will catch you on the next Dokkan Battle video.